Welcome to WealthWise. Today, I will be discussing employment expenses, specifically who can claim them and how to claim home office expenses. Step 1. Obtain a completed and signed T2200 form from your employer. This form declares the conditions of your employment and the expenses you're required to pay. Meet Jenny. She works as a bookkeeper for a small, newly established company. Since her company does not have an administrative department, she asked her boss to issue Form T2200 so she could claim employment expenses on her 2024 personal tax return. However, her boss is unfamiliar with Form T2200 and has asked her for assistance in issuing it. Jenny advised her boss to visit the CRA website and search for T2200 in the search bar. From there, he could download the form. He can now complete Part A, Employee Information, and Part B, Employer Information. At the bottom left of the form name is typically displayed. In Part C, Question 1, he checks Yes, because Jenny is required to pay her own expenses while carrying out her employment duties. In Question 2, since Jenny does not receive a commission, the answer is No. In Question 3, Jenny is required to pay for supplies and the use of her cell phone, so he checks the corresponding box. In Question 4, for Jenny to claim home office expenses, she must meet at least one of the following two criteria. A. Has the employee worked more than 50% of the time from their home workspace for a period of at least 4 consecutive weeks in the year? B. Has the employee used their home workspace regularly and continually for in-person meetings with clients or other people while performing their work duties? Her employer was confused about these criteria and asked Jenny for clarification. To help him understand, Jenny provided several scenarios. Scenario 1, you worked from home every Friday throughout the year, but spent the rest of your work week at the office. This does not qualify because you did not work more than 50% of the time from your home office during any period of at least 4 consecutive weeks. Scenario 2, Megan worked as a part-time employee. In 2024, she worked 2 days per week from her home and 1 day at the company office. Megan is eligible to claim expenses related to her workspace for 2024. She was required to work more than 50% of the time from home for a period of at least 4 consecutive weeks. Scenario 3. You are an employee required to meet clients as part of your job. You have a dedicated room in your home that serves as your office, and you use this space to host in-person meetings with clients. The space is continuously used for work-related activities. You meet the CRA requirement to claim home office expenses. Now, the employer understands the 2 criteria for claiming home office expenses. He selects the applicable response and proceeds to the motor vehicle expenses section. Since Jenny does not claim motor vehicle expenses, they can skip this section and move directly to Parts D and E. Finally, her employer signs the form and completes the process. You don't need to submit the T2200 with your tax return, but you must keep it in your records in case the CRA requests it. Step 2. Gather all receipts and records of your eligible expenses. The temporary flat rate method no longer applies to the 2023 and later tax years. Therefore, you must keep all receipts and records to claim employment expenses. Additionally, you cannot claim any expenses that have been or will be reimbursed by your employer. A list of eligible expenses, such as office supplies, can be found on Form T777. Eligible home office expenses include electricity, heating, home internet, and rent. Step 3. Complete Form T777 to calculate your total expenses. To calculate your home office expenses, you need to determine the appropriate proportion of your home used for work. First, measure the size of your workspace to ensure it is a reasonable area dedicated to work. Next, measure the total square footage of your home. Then, calculate the percentage of your home used for work by dividing the workspace square footage by the total home square footage and multiplying by 100. If the space is not used exclusively for work, adjust for the time spent working in that area by dividing the hours used for work by the total hours in the period and multiplying by 100. Finally, combine these percentages to determine the portion of eligible home office expenses you can claim. Here are some examples. At the end of this video, I have attached a clip showing how I completed Form T777 using WealthSimple's free software. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe.